GPS.
Chapter 15, Custom-Tailored Challenges. Searching for your personal growth opportunity. The Gemara says, Amar Reb Acha Mishum Reb Levi, Mai kra chesed u'mishpat ashira lecha Hashem azamera, im chesed ashira, ve'im mishpat ashira. When you treat me with kindness, Hashem, I will sing praise to you. And when you treat me harshly, I will still sing praise to you. Hashem custom designs every single event in your life just to guide you to fulfill your potential. The Medrash says, Amar Reb Chanina, Ein davar ra yored milmala. We must internalize a fundamental principle of Yiddishkeit. Nothing bad comes from Hashem. You must believe that the all-powerful creator of the universe is not out to get you, and nothing bad or wrong or unfair comes forth from Hashem. When you internalize and really truly internally believe that this is true, then you are ready to accept the next step. As the Nesiv Shalom explains, if nothing bad comes from heaven, that means that whatever happens to you, regardless of how painful it is, it must be. Are you ready for this? Good. As it says, Toiv Hashem lakol, v'rachamav al kol masav. Hashem is good to all, and He is compassionate to all of His creations. Authentic Yiddishkeit believes that every detail of your life, who you were born to, what school you went to, how much money you have, where you live, how many siblings you have, and every single thing that ever happened to you, whether you liked it or not, have all been designed to set up your life so that you can reach your specific destiny and purpose. That's what the Nesiv Shalom says. HaKadosh Baruch Hu maimed l'kol echad, es kol ha-nesivois v'hatanoim sheyuchal al yodam, l'sakein es asher tafkidoi l'sakein, u'lemalois yu'udoi v'tafkidoi ba'olamai. It's not a mistake that your life's details are the way they are. Every single aspect of your life was set up specifically for you, so that way it can bring you to the goal and purpose of your life, so you can be misakin and fix whatever it is that is your destiny to do on this world. So let's take this a step further. The Nesiv Shalom says, V'af hamatzovim akoshim b'chayehi adam, hem gam kein emtsoyim shenitnu loy b'chdei sheyagia el tikunai. As you encounter life's difficulties and hardships, these painful situations are precisely given to you in order to help you reach your ultimate goal. Almost any person who accomplished anything for the greater good did so by overcoming personal pain and suffering. Only by going through the pain and suffering in their life did they elevate themselves and help mankind. No longer can you think, "Oy, why did Hashem make me lose money, get into a fight, marry this person, have in-laws like this, have difficult children, have sick children, have mean parents, injure myself, get sick, etc., etc." For there are no accidents. Everything is being given to you. You're being set up, but set up for good, set up to achieve, and set up to elevate yourself and fulfill your personal destiny.
Let's bring an example to prove the point.
Life savings. The following true story was brought down in Sefer Umasa Ka'ar on Megillas Esther. A Yid in Bnei Brak was diagnosed with a horrific, rapidly advancing disease that would surely kill him in a short time. The family was brokenhearted because the doctors gave up any hope for his survival. The patient decided to pour out his heart to Hashem by saying the entire Tehillim at the burial place of Reb Shimon Bar Yochai in Meron. On the way to Meron, he stopped off at the home of the Gadol Adar, Moran Arav Chaim Kanievsky Shlita, to receive his blessing. Reb Chaim asked him, "Do you remember that I was in your house 8 years ago?" Of course the Yid remembered. But why was he in his house 8 years ago? The reason that Reb Chaim had visited his home 8 years before was because of an incident that happened to this Yid's wife. 12 years before that visit from Reb Chaim, somebody did something horrible to her, and as a result, someone in her family died. After a while, the person who did this terrible thing got married, but did not have any children. And this is why Reb Chaim had come to visit their home. He showed this Yid's wife a piece of paper on which he had written, "I completely forgive this person." The Rav asked the wife to sign the paper. She replied that if the Rav is requesting it, of course she will sign. But she knows deep in her heart that she can never bring herself to truly forgive the person for what had happened. He replied, "Please work on yourself to forgive this person with a full heart and then sign the paper." After many long minutes of deep thought and introspection, she somehow managed to bring herself to forgive this person with a full heart, and she signed the paper. Reb Chaim instructed them to save the paper and keep it in a safe place. And now, 8 years later, Reb Chaim told this Yid, "Go home and take that paper with you to Miron and daven that you should be saved in the merit of the forgiveness of your wife 8 years ago." Of course, he followed Reb Chaim's instructions. He went to Miron with the paper, and he davened that he should be saved in the merit of the forgiveness of his wife. After returning back from Miron, this Yid underwent a new set of tests, and the doctors were dumbfounded as they found him to be perfectly healthy. 8 years earlier, his wife thought that by forgiving that terrible person, she was helping that person have children. But in actuality, she was really saving her own husband's life. Authentic Yiddishkeit believes that it is not only when someone earns $10 million that he has an opportunity to grow and fulfill his life's potential, but even when someone, chas v'shalom, loses $10 million, this painful loss is given to him specifically because he needs this in order to reach his potential and complete his life's mission. And this is what the Gemara means when it says that the same way that you must thank Hashem for what you think is good for you, you must also be prepared and ready to thank Hashem for what you think is bad for you. Why? Because that too is for your benefit. What's good and what's bad, we look at as what feels good and what feels bad, what we would like, what we would prefer, what we don't want. But that's not really good and bad, because if it brings you to your purpose, if it's a challenge being directly given to you specifically, because you need this to earn your credit for your world to come, then good and bad has totally different meanings. And what seems to be bad, painful, not geschmack, not fun for you, is actually very possibly good for you because it brings you to your destiny. So now that we understand this, we can take this a step further. This concept does not only refer to difficult situations that you will encounter from the outside, but guess what? It even refers to your own inborn deficiencies. As the Nesiv Shalom explains, not only do your good qualities help you achieve your life's mission, but even your own ugly qualities, your bad midos, they were given to you specifically so that you can reach your destination. For by overcoming, controlling, and refining those bad midos, you will fulfill your purpose in this world. Now that you understand this, you can no longer think, "Oy, why did Hashem make me so angry, mean, haughty, jealous, lustful, stingy, self-centered, dumb," etc. Add in whatever is not perfect about your personality. And guess what? If you aren't sure, then just ask your spouse for a list. I'm sure it's really handy and ready for you. Why can't you say that? Because there really are no accidents. The Mari Cheskel says, Moshe Rabbeinu himself had a long list of terrible character traits. However, you must understand that he was only able to reach such lofty levels only by having those bad traits within him and forcing himself to control himself and use them only for the good. We are each given natural impulses and urges to help us achieve greatness, by controlling and utilizing these traits for our service to Hashem. Reb Tzadok HaKohen says, Adam shemitivoi einoi bal taiva, einoi yochel lavedis Hashem b'chol levavacha. A person who by nature is not a passionate person cannot truly serve Hashem as well as one who is very passionate and uses his passion and lust for the right reasons. Highly successful people are not blah. They have an extra dose of passion rushing through their veins, and they utilize this to motivate themselves to go the extra mile. If you feel that you are extremely passionate, that is a sign that these inborn feelings were given to you to be utilized for you to become extraordinary. Authentic Yiddishkeit believes that even your personal character flaws and personal deficiencies are specifically placed in you by Hashem as part of the setup that you need in order to fulfill your individual purpose in life. Imagine that you're playing the game of chess, and after you play, each time you play, you end up with a different setup. You're missing some pieces. One time you're missing a queen. One time you're missing a castle, a rook, a pawn, 3 pawns, 5 pawns. And your job is under those circumstances to beat the other team. That's what life is all about. One person is missing a queen. One person is missing a rook, a knight. One person is missing some pawns. The setup could be not really so good, not really what you think you need to have the strongest side. But that's the setup that Hashem gives you. And then he says, under this circumstance, with these deficiencies, these flaws, I want you to fight and I want you to win. But it goes even deeper than that. The Nesiv Shalom says, V'gam kasher pachas alav yitzroi, yeda shezui matana min hashamayim, sherak al yidei zeh yuchal lahagia liyudoi. You should know that even when your evil inclination attacks you, this too is a gift from heaven. For only by overcoming this battle can you reach your destination and fulfill your mission. Yes, you read that right. Actually, you're listening, so you heard that right. Every piece of you and every situation that you ever encounter is specifically designed by Hashem for your benefit. Even your inner desire and temptation to sin were also specifically placed within you by Hashem. No longer can you think, "Ay, why did Hashem give me such a huge Yetzer Hara, bad friends, all these spiritual challenges, bad influences, etc." For there are no accidents. This puts a whole different spin on how you must face your own personal difficulties and challenges. We tend to keep our focus on the parts of our lives that we have under control and we're doing great at. We think that those are the things that define our true character. But the truth is that our entire life's mission is really not about those parts. It's really about facing and dealing with our imperfections by, 1, developing the inner strength to try and prevent ourselves from falling, and 2, developing the inner strength to try to recover after falling, so that way we can stay in the game of life. So it's time to refocus on your deficiencies and your own personal struggles, and get ready to fight for your life.